All right, let's just jump right in. Can a machine, an algorithm, a bunch of code, actually truly be funny? It sounds like a simple yes or no question, right? But the answer is this. Well, it's this fascinating and kind of hilarious mess that tells us way more about ourselves than it ever will about technology. I mean, just look at this. This is a real joke from ChatGPT. And you can see it has the shape of a joke. The structure's kind of there, but it makes absolutely no sense. It feels like it was assembled in a factory, not felt by a person. And anyone who's messed around with these AIs has seen stuff just like this. So, case closed, right? AI just isn't funny? Well, not so fast. Because then, you get this. A veteran writer for legends like David Letterman and Jay Leno, a guy named Joe Toplin, he put his own jokes up against an AI he built called WitScript. They had a professional comedian deliver both sets of jokes to a real live audience. And get this, they had neuroscientists measuring the laughter. And the result? It was a statistical tie. The AI was just as funny as the pro. So what on earth is going on here? How can the same technology produce that baffling toaster analogy and jokes that can go toe-to-toe with a seasoned professional? That's the big mystery we're going to try to unravel. And to do that, we first have to figure out what a joke even is. You know, it turns out comedy isn't just some kind of magic. There's a science to it. And understanding that science gives us a massive clue about what's really happening with AI. So a lot of jokes are basically a two-step process for your brain. First, the setup creates some kind of confusion or surprise. That's what scientists call incongruity. It's a little puzzle. Then the punchline hits, and it gives you this sudden new way of looking at it that makes it all click into place. That's the resolution. And that aha moment, that's what makes you laugh. This old joke is a perfect example. Two fish are in a tank. Okay, your brain immediately pictures a glass box with water in it. But then one says, you man the guns, I'll drive. That's the incongruity. It doesn't fit. And then, click. The resolution is that sudden realization that tank can also mean an armored vehicle. Your brain solves the puzzle, and you laugh. It's a perfect little cognitive loop. Now, this connects directly to AI's greatest strength. At their core, these large language models are unbelievably powerful pattern-matching machines. I mean, they've analyzed trillions of words, so they can spot and replicate structures with scary accuracy. When it comes to the formula of a joke, setup, incongruity, resolution, they can absolutely nail it. And check out this study. Researchers gave different AIs jokes from The Simpsons and asked them to explain why they were funny. The simpler models, they kind of struggled. But the top-tier AIs like GPT-4 and Claude 3, they could break down everything from simple sight gags to really complex jokes with puns, cultural references, even flawed satirical logic. So this proves they can understand the mechanics of a joke. But if they get the formula, what's missing? This is where it gets really interesting, because understanding the blueprint of a house is not the same as living in it. AI gets the structure of comedy, but it's missing the soul. Just look at this comparison. On the left, a joke from that WitScript AI. Marie Antoinette's diamond has the perfect cut, just like her head. It's clever, it's dark, you need a little historical context. On the right, a raw joke from ChatGPT. Why did the man put his money in the blender? He wanted to make time fly. It's just word salad. And this isn't just a difference in quality, it points to the real fundamental limitation. You know, this sign from the Writers Guild strike last year, it just says it all. The best comedy isn't just about clever wordplay. It's rooted in human experience. It comes from pain, from embarrassment, from vulnerability, from joy, from confusion. It comes from having actually lived a life. An AI doesn't have a life. It has no memories, no fears, no awkward first dates. It has data, but it doesn't have a story. And that's the whole ballgame, isn't it? AI can simulate these things, but it can't actually possess them. It can't feel the sting of rejection that fuels a great joke about dating. It doesn't truly understand our cultural taboos, so it can't skillfully dance around them for comedic effect. And it definitely can't build that bond of trust with an audience that lets a great comedian take risks, knowing the crowd is right there with them. The comedian Bo Burnham put it perfectly. He said AI can mimic the notes, but not the melody. It's learned all the musical notes, the structure of a joke, but it doesn't understand the melody, that deep emotional truth that makes a joke really hit home and connect us to each other. It's the difference between a textbook definition and a heartfelt confession. And here's the real kicker. Study after study has found that people consistently rate jokes as less funny the moment they know an AI wrote them. We are inherently biased towards Team Human. We want to connect with another person's mind, another person's experience, not an algorithm's best guess. Just knowing it's a machine sucks the humor right out of it. So, this brings us all the way back to our initial mystery. How in the world did WitScript tie with a pro comedian? Well, the answer isn't that AI is a great comedian. The answer is that AI is becoming an incredible tool for great comedians. Real comedians are already using AI in their process right now, not to write the final punchlines, but to act as this tireless brainstorming partner that can help them bust through writer's block. Or, and this is really clever, they use it to test out their material. And of course, they use it to handle all the boring admin stuff, which frees up more time to actually be creative. Okay, take this example from comedian Viv Ford. I love this. She uses ChatGPT as a kind of reverse indicator. Because AI is programmed to be so safe and cautious, if it flags one of her jokes as offensive, she knows she's probably onto something that will hit hard with a live audience. But if the AI says her joke is funny, it's probably too bland. She's literally weaponizing its limitations. And that right there solves our mystery. The secret to WitScript's success in that laugh-off wasn't just the algorithm. It was human curation. It was Joe Toplin, an expert human comedian, acting as the editor. He prompted the AI, he sifted through tons of mediocre or just plain nonsensical outputs, and he handpicked the absolute best ones. It wasn't human versus machine. It was a human-machine partnership. Ultimately, this whole quest to make AI funny has led to this really fascinating, unexpected discovery. The more we try to teach a machine how to make us laugh, the more we learn about what makes human humor so unique and so essential. I love this quote from the comedian Maria Bamford. She says, AI acts like a mirror, and its failures, they're actually more revealing than its successes. Every single clunky, soulless joke it tells just highlights that real humor isn't some clean, logical formula. No, it's tangled up in our experiences, our flaws, our bodies, and our shared understanding of this weird, messy thing we call being alive. So where does that leave us? As AI gets better and better at faking the patterns of human creativity, whether it's art or music or comedy, the things it can't do suddenly become that much more important. Laughter, shared vulnerability, genuine connection. These might just be some of the last best markers of what it truly means to be human.